Come on, Amanda, let's go. Here, just blow that stop sign. What are you doing?
It's fine.
Alright, whatever.
Hello? Relax. I'm almost done.
Amanda, watch out! Come on, Amanda. That sounds really annoying. Put your seatbelt on.
We're looking at 3,000 teen driver deaths per year, which is about 8 per day in the United States. It's too many people dying, too many of our young people. Also, they are at their highest level of risk for the first 18 to 24 months.
Who besides the teen driver? All drivers out there are affected by the graduated driver's license because they can tell if a person, because one of the other restrictions is for a graduated driver's license, one of the main important restriction is the red decal that a graduated driver must display on their license plate, both the front and back license plate. One of the more common violations of the graduated driver's license are the passenger violation with the passenger restrictions. You'll get an individual with a graduated driver's license that'll have 2 and 3 passengers with them, not one of them being their parent or guardian. They'll be going to the mall or to the movies or something like that, and they'll be in violation of graduated driver's license. The biggest violation, which helps us identify the graduated driver holder, is the red stickers, the red decals, them not having it properly displayed on their vehicle. The graduated driver's license, or the GDL as it's commonly referred, it's a process in which an individual, once they turn the age of 16, can go about getting their driver's license and driving in the state of New Jersey. There's 3 stages to graduated driver's license. You get your special learner's permit, your examination permit, and your probationary license. Depending on what stage you're in, but basically the restriction of the graduated driver's license itself, once you obtain your driver's license at age 17, there's a time restriction on there. You can't drive from 11 o'clock at night till 5:01 in the morning. You can't have more than 1 passenger in your car unless they are your dependents or you have a guardian or a parent with you. Then you can have unlimited passengers.
How long do you think it's going to take for your kids to learn how to drive safely? It's going to be a long time? Has anybody done this yet with a teen driver where you train them to go through this process? You know, it's a very low stress environment, right? There's no stress at all. But actually, we've been teaching our kids since day one, since we brought them home in that little child carrier, because they've been sitting in the back seat all those years doing what? They're sleeping like me, right? Watching us do what we do. And just think about it, all the things about when they were young that they did to mimic your behaviors. So some of our behaviors that may not be so good, and we want to make sure that we set those good behaviors. And that's what Share the Keys is all about.
All right, parents, be clear with what you expect of your teen driver and be consistent. Be consistent. We know we have that teen driver, especially when they get that GDL, and we can send them out to do a quick errand. But if they weren't doing what they were supposed to be doing last night and came home at 11:30, but you don't feel like running out for that milk the next night, what is that really teaching them?
You would have to get a letter from your employer stating that, you know, if you get off work at 11 o'clock, and obviously you're going to be on the road past 11 o'clock, that, you know, John Smith works for ABC company, gets off work at 11 o'clock. We know where you live by your driver's license, so if we pull you over at 11:15, and it should take you about half an hour to go from work, you will be okay. If we pull you over at 2 in the morning and you get off at 11 o'clock, and you work in Ocean City and you live in Egg Harbor Township, it doesn't take you 3 hours to get home from work.
So have clear restrictions, be consistent, have the consequences that they lose their driving privileges for a certain amount of time, and make sure we're doing proper follow-through. Right? You're going to lose your driving privileges for a week. You're going to have to drive with me. It may be a little more inconvenient for us as parents, and I can see this happen to me very quickly because I can see some of my son's classmates out in the audience there. He'll be getting his permit here in a few months, and I'm looking forward to it, but not looking forward to it because it is going to be a stressful time for me to teach him how to drive. Although I've been showing him how to drive, as we learned earlier, since the time I took him home from the hospital. Enforcing GDL restrictions at home, 11 p.m. curfew. Why is it the 11 p.m. curfew? 40% of teen traffic accidents, crashes, occur at night. 40% occur at night. So we set restrictions on there. They do get some time to drive at night, but there's no reason for them to be driving overnight. As a police officer, as Mr. Tullio said earlier, yes, there is exceptions to that, the work and the religious. They have to have a note from their from their employer, or from the religious area. And if they get off work at 11 o'clock at night at Jillian's in Ocean City, and it's 1:30 in the morning, it doesn't take 2.5 hours to get from Ocean City back to EHT. One passenger. Why do we do the one passenger? Distractions, all right? With only one passenger in the vehicle, which is one passenger with your driver, you're more than twice as likely to be involved in a crash. That's just with one passenger.
After watching the PSA, I feel like safe driving is very important because if you don't drive safely, then something could happen and it could possibly even take your life. And I mean, I hope everyone thinks their life is pretty important, so like being safe is like a #1 thing when like driving or doing anything actually.
I can relate to the PSA because when I was younger I was in a car accident and it was a similar situation. Someone ran a stop sign and it was a pretty bad accident, so I think the message that the PSA gives out is really important and everybody should learn all about it.
After reviewing the PSA, I felt like I understood the laws a lot more because I found out what could happen if you don't actually follow the laws.